Lycidas, a monody by John Milton. This is part fourth of the presentation. After the indignant denunciation of the corrupt clergy, Milton returns again to his main theme. He now asks the pastoral muse to collect flowers of a sober color to strew them over the dead body of Lycidas. But the very next moment, he remembers that Lycidas was drowned and his body has not been recovered. Alas! Therefore flowers cannot be strewn over the dead body of Lycidas. Even this consolation is denied to the poet. Returned Alpheus, the dread voice is past, that shrunk thy streams. Returned Sicilian Muse. Alpheus, one of the largest rivers in Greece, rising in Arcadia and flowing through Elis. It here means pastoral muse. Sicilian Muse. Reference is to the pastoral verse of Sicily, which was the home of Theocritus, the father of pastoral poetry. And call the whales and bid them hither cast, hither at the coffin of Lycidas. Their bells cast their bells and flowerets of 1,000 hues. Flowerets, flowers. Ye valleys low, where the mild whispers use of shades and wanton winds and gushing brooks. Mild whispers they are caused by the striking of leaves of trees by winds. On whose fresh lap the swart star sparely looks. Swart star, swarthy dark star Sirius, also called the dog star, it signifies much of heat. Swart is burning hot. Sparely rarely, as the valleys are deep. This star looks with different aspects and signifies different influences on different things. Throw hither all your quaint enamelled eyes. Quaint is strange or attractive. Enamelled is bright. That on the green turf, turf is grass, that on the green turf suck the honeyed showers and purple all the ground with vernal flowers. Vernal is of spring. Bring the wreath primrose that forsaken dies. Wreath is blooming or ripening early in the year. The tufted cowtoe and pale jessamine. Cowtoe, the jessamine, pansy, violet, musk rose, which looks like the claws of a crow. Bring the wreath primrose that forsaken dies, and tufted crowtoe and pale jessamine, the white pink and the pansy freaked with jet, the glowing violet, the musk rose and the well-attired woodbine with cowslips wan that hang the pensive head, and every flower that sad embroidery wears. Cowslip are different kind of flowers. It shows the richness of Milton's descriptive power. Cowslip wan that hang the pensive head means which have drooping heads in a thoughtful mood. Flowers that sad embroidery wears means flower which has a sober and not showy color. It suits mourning. Inviting all kinds of flowers and wines, Milton says that Alpheus River should come back because the fearful voice which made its tributaries shrink has vanished. Sicilian muse associated with pastoral poetry should also come back. Flowers of a variety of colors should come and cover the coffin of Lycidas. The valley which resound with the whispers of winds, the violet storms, fast flowing brooks, on which the swart star has hardly got any evil influence, all should cast their brightness on Lycidas. The early primroses, which wither away if neglected by men, the crow-toe, the pale-colored jessamine, the pansy, the violet, the cowslips, drooping downwards in a thoughtful mood. All kinds of flowers should scatter over the coffin of Lycidas. Bid Amaranthus all his beauty shed. Amaranthus is an imaginary flower that never fades. It is symbolic of immortality. And daffodils fill their cups with tears. To strew the laureate hearse where Lycid lies, for so to interpose a little ease. Laureate hearse, usually a cartage, a cart to carry coffin, for conveying the coffin, but here it can mean the wooden platform where the dead body is placed. This dead body of the laureate should be covered with a variety of flowers. Lycid is Lycidas. This short form expresses endearment. Interpose means to make an interruption to get relief from grief. Let our frail thoughts dally with false surmise. Dally is to move slowly. Surmise is to guess or fancy. For so to interpose a little ease, let our frail thoughts dally with false surmise. Ay me, whilst thee the shores and sounding seas wash far away, wherever thy bones are hurled, whether beyond the stormy Hebrides are the islands where storms blow so frequently. They are situated in the northwest of Scotland, where thou perhaps under the whelming tide, whelming is overpowering, visitest the bottom of the monstrous world, the ocean where the monsters dwell, or whether thou to our moist vows denied, moist vows because of tears, sleepest by the fable of Belarus old. Belarus is the name of some great Cornish chief, where the great vision of the guarded mount, great vision of Saint Michael, Archangel Michael, looks toward Namankos and Bayona's hold. Namankos is a district in Galicia, northern Spain. Bayona is a town in Galicia south of Namankos. Look homeward, angel now, and melt with Ruth. Ruth is pity. And oh ye dolphins! Dolphins are kind of fish considered to be the friends of men. Waft the hapless youth. Waft is carry, hapless youth is unfortunate young men. I me, whilst thee the shores and sounding seas wash far away wherever thy bones are hurled, whether beyond the stormy Hebrides, where thou perhaps under the whelming tide visitest, visitest the bottom of the monstrous world, or whether thou, to our moist vows denied, sleepest by the fable of Belarus old, where the great vision of the guarded mount looks toward Nemenkos and Bayona's hold, look homeward, angel now, and melt with ruth, and O ye dolphins, waft the hapless youth. My heart is full of grief over the death of Lycidas. The bones of my friend might have been washed away by the waves of the far-off Hebrides. Lycidas might be sleeping by old Belarus, where the great archangel looks towards Nemenkos and Baona. Lycidas, my angel, return home at the quickest possible hour. The dolphins of water carry the unfortunate young man homewards. In the conventional manner of a pastoral elegy, Milton ends his elegy on a note of consolation and hope. Though drowned in the ocean, Lycidas is not dead in reality. Like the sun, he would rise again and live a happier and nobler life in some other region. His abode henceforth would be heaven, the kingdom of God. Perhaps he would become the genius of the shore near which he was drowned, and protect from harm all those who sail in that dangerous sea. Weep no more, woeful shepherds, weep no more. For Lycidas, your sorrow is not dead, your sorrow the object of your sorrow. Sunk though he be beneath the watery floor, so sinks the day star in the ocean bed. Day star is the sun. And yet anon repairs his drooping head and tricks his beams, and with new spangled ore, anon repairs, rises again, tricks adorns his beams, new spangled ore with new brilliance. Flames in the forehead of the morning sky, so Lycidas sunk low but mounted high, through the dear might of him that walked the waves, where other groves and other streams along, with nectar pure his oozy locks he laves. Oozy wet with mud, laves is wash. Lycidas will have to wash his fine locks of hair as they have become dirty with mud. And here's the unexpressive nuptial song in the best kingdoms meek of joy and love. Nuptial song is reference to the marriage of the Lamb mentioned in the Revelation. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. This marriage is often interpreted as the ideal relationship between God and his people. Kingdoms mean abode of the humble, that is, of the heaven. Milton consoles himself through the belief that death does not strike the final end of man. O shepherds, you should weep no longer for Lycidas, because Lycidas is immortal. The sun sinks in the bed of the ocean every evening, but rises again with added brightness on the very next day. Similarly, Lycidas has died physically, but he has risen very high through the powers of God. The locks of the hair of Lycidas have become dirty with the mud of the river, and he washes it with pure nectar. He listens to the inexpressive song on the occasion of the marriage of the Lamb in the kingdoms of love and joy. There entertain him all the saints above, in solemn troops and sweet societies, that sing and singing in their glory move, and wipe the tears forever from his eyes. Wipe the tears forever from his eyes is reference to the Revelation 21 part 4, according to which God shall wipe the tears of all. Milton here makes the saints wipe the tears of Lycidas. Now Lycidas, the shepherds weep no more. Henceforth thou art the genius of the shore. Genius of the shore, the guardian spirit of the shore. It is a classical belief that the guardian spirit is in charge of men and places. Lycidas will save or guard people on the dangerous sea. In thy large compensation, and shalt be good to all that wander in that perilous flood. Perilous flood is the dangerous ocean. The saints entertain him and wash his tears forever. As a result of his death, Lycidas has become the guardian spirit of the shores, and he shall protect all those who wander on the dangerous ocean. In this concluding passage, Milton forgets that he was writing a pastoral elegy and speaks in his own person. With the setting of the sun, he ends his lament and departs to fresh woods and pastures new. It may be a reference to his proposed journey to Italy, or to the fact that henceforth he would write poetry in another vein. He would write his epic and never again take up masques, pastorals, and idylls. Thus sang the uncouth swain to the oaks and rills. Rills are small streams. Uncouth swain, unskilled shepherd. The unskilled shepherd is Milton himself. While the still morn went out with sandals grey, the poet was singing, while the morning with grey colours was walking the sky at the grey dawn. He touched the tender stops of various quills. Stops are small holes, quills are pipes. With eager thought, warbling his Doric lay. Doric lay is a pastoral song. Warbling is sing softly with a succession of constantly changing notes. And now the sun had stretched out all the hills and now was dropped into the western bay. The hills appeared stretched on account of their long shadows. This, this indicates that the sun was setting and the shadows of the hills were becoming longer and longer. At last he rose and twisted his mantle blue, twist is to wrap around, to morrow to fresh woods and pastures new. Pastures new, this expression can indicate the desire of the poet, shepherd in the poem, to leave the place because he cannot feed his sheep alone. It also indicates the desire of the poet to tour Italy. Thirdly, he can be said to suggest that the poet wants to give up writing small poems and wishes to try new pastures and to like up the task of writing Paradise Lost, something unattempted yet in prose or rhyme. In this way, the uncultured shepherd sang his song to oaks and streams. He touched the soft stops of all pipes made of reeds. There was an eager thought along with his Doric song. The sun had spread all around. Finally he rose from his place, pulled his gown and proceeded towards the fresh forests and new pastures.